Welcome, Tucky Traders. Welcome to the 3rd of June, last month of the financial year here in Australia. I've had a fantastic rally this week on top of the other week gains. As you can see here, quite a bag of stocks all up, many different industries, quite a broad rally, which is always good to see. The red you're seeing is mainly based on these gold miners. The price of gold has come off a little bit, and that's just, was surprised to see Perseus here down 12%. I mentioned the other week I was looking at a buy-in at this if it got much lower, and that was when it was $1.20, $1.25 or something. So this is a possible buy for me if you want to maybe not hold gold direct but want to invest in good companies. Definitely looking at that. Some other positions are up quite a lot, 20 to 30% profits at the moment. The uncertainty with Hong Kong, with the China trade deal, the protests in America, the unemployment level, many different factors converging, and some of them won't be hitting the Australian economy until September. Some effects are not fully known at the moment of just how bad the COVID has done, and that's why definitely now is a time for me at least to lock in some of these profits and look at other asset classes, or get a bit more to increase my exposure to gold. And as opposed to doing this from my usual CFDs, I'm looking at through profitable gold companies, because if the price of gold ends up getting to 1800 plus, these are just going to zoom up, and they're already down from their yearly highs. They haven't fully recovered from the sort of Feb-March crash anyway. So overall, market's looking good, always keeping in track that, you got to bank your profits at some point. Here's the Australia 200 on the left, the S&P 500 on the right. As you can see, reaching for these beautiful new heights, up quite well from the downward spike. And really on the 4 hour, I wouldn't say they're really that overbought at the moment. I think we need to see a bit more over 6 in the short term. I've noticed over there, you can see the AU 200s are starting to sort of tread a bit water there. There's possibility of a pullback, and then also because it is the last month, it will be interesting to see if traders want to lock in their profits or lock in some losses for this year. I guess depending on where the entrance has. Speaking of gold, as I mentioned, you can see silver had this rally come off a little bit, nothing too concerned about, and gold here. I was surprised to see this drop over the last few hours, but again, it's still holding in this 1700 plus rate. I still think in the short term, 1800 still on the cards. Dropping below 1600, even 1650, I don't really see getting down to these prices down here. There would have to be some exceedingly good news, and I think a number of good outlooks. So at the moment, I'm still bullish on gold. Silver I'm staying out of because I'm in gold. I normally trade one or the other. Probably what I'm looking more for silver is these nice overbought. When I see silver on a high RSI, one of those few things that you can almost bank on, because just because someone's got a high RSI, classic example of that is oil. It's coming off now, but you can see here, even though RSI was high, wasn't that much of a pullback, and that's where you've got to be careful, because you could have been stuck with a short here, and there's a pullback now. This is all expected. A lot of people are saying now that with oil, back on this is on Oanda, so it might be slightly different on your terminal, but it needs to pull back a little bit. It's had this great rally from more negative, and now there's a bit more concern about what's going to happen. Which countries did actually instigate the full output cuts? Which ones are cheaters? They were looking at the next meeting and what's going to come out of that. That said, oil prices, if demand keeps going up, is bullish. However, if there is a risk that the protests in America, on top of additional COVID issues, continue to have a dampening on demand, then we could revisit, not quite the lows down here, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some sort of, low. NAtGas is still just sideways trading. There's a bit of bullish weather and then some bearish weather. Nothing too exciting on the weather front. The tropical cyclone is going to be causing some cooling effects, and we'll expect there will be some probably production shut in, but at the same time, it will affect exports too. So the market hasn't really responded to that as a massive event. I think the main thing at the moment is that storage in Europe is extremely full at the moment. There's still a lot of natural gas pulling in. There's exports that are being cancelled from from US, which is keeping the prices down. RSI sitting in the middle. I've been short. Been looking at some point to close those shorts, but just don't feel it's at the moment. That said, once we do get some continual American heat, this thing's going to rally. You can see how quickly here we've got this pop up to 2. So something like that is inevitable. But then I'll be very careful watching I don't get caught in some long position for a forced hold, because once summer we get back into the next shoulder season, I think we're going to see quite a reasonable drop before winter comes in as well. So just watching that with NatGas prices. And then on to the stunner of the week. Not so much now, but it was, really exciting when it happened. Bitcoin finally hit above this 10. You can see that's my previous line there at 10, and it's actually come back. I deliberately left this trend line in. I had it finished here, and then it dropped below it. We're still sitting around here. To me, this is still strength, and it looks bad when you see it drop 10% and pop and dump. But on the grand scheme of things, you can see the RSI here, how it was just completely overbought. And you do see that Bitcoin, again, as I was saying, with the RSI on some of the markets, it is one of those instruments where you get that overbought state, and there's always a pullback and sell off it. You can always bank on it. So Bitcoin and Ethereum just rallying, not rallying, just consolidating around this mark. It's only $500 off 10K. I'm really not too concerned about that, still bullish. Some of the altcoins, though, definitely are needing to sort of come back. I was looking at Theta, had this massive pump here. It'd be a bit sad if you got a long up here at the moment. But I saw here, RSI is down. It's quite a good project. It's got quite a good support behind it. So looking at getting back into some of the altcoins like that. And then some of the other altcoins, they're sort of just licking their wounds. They had the dump off when Bitcoin had the dump after it's sort of, over 10K. So you can see here, it was starting to build some strength. So it'll be interesting to see if this does recover over the next few days, and whether there will be another pump up towards that over 10.5, 11, or if we just sort of meander around here again in the short term. So I'm still bullish for Bitcoin and for altcoins. I got back into the market after booking profits the other week, so sitting nicely, and now just really keeping an eye on things and trying to snag some of these nice 3 to 4% daily profits. So that's the markets for the moment. That's the main thing, is just really what's going to happen. There's quite a lot of potential news at the moment that could have a negative effect on the markets, and then whether some of these trades end up being more of a hedge trade, like if does Bitcoin continue to work opposite to the share market and to the markets overall. So happy trading. We'll update you tomorrow or Friday with the end of week market wrap, and hopefully nice profits for everyone.